We'll hear from Graham Potter in a moment, but first, Coach Christian Stellini of Spurs.
No, we have to think about us. We have to think about us and our way to be better, our way and the target we want to reach, and not think about what the opponent can do or not do. A team like Chelsea can recover and win many games in a row. So, but we have to think about our game and not what happened after.
We need 3 points. We go there, it's a fantastic game. London derby, like you say. I'll miss seeing Antonio. Obviously, I wish him a speedy recovery. But it's a game that we're really looking forward to. The training, like I said, training week has been really good. The response from the players has been really good. So we're looking forward to the game.
Graham Potter's looking forward to the game. It is a massive game, though, on Sunday. Could it be decisive for Graham Potter's Chelsea managerial career?
Well, possibly. It's not gone well, is it, for Graham? He's spent an awful lot of money, still doesn't know his best side, still don't know his best system, how he wants to play. And it's confusing, you know, to a group of players. I think he struggles to manage with the big personalities, but unfortunately, when you're managing Chelsea and you've got a group of superstars, you have to be tough with your decisions and you have to stick by them. I think he needs to pick his best side as soon as possible and stick with it. Yeah, it's easy to, you know, he's like a kid in a sweet shop. He's got so many things to pick from that he doesn't know his best. Unfortunately, he needs to get it done very, very quickly because he's had such a poor run of form. If Mr. Abramovich was there, he would have sacked him already. So I think this game is so emotional to the fans. This could be make or break. I'm not saying it will be because when he talks very calmly. It looks like his job's under no pressure whatsoever. Todd Bowley must have told him something different because, you know, they played Southampton at home, bottom of the league, without a manager, and then he talks very calmly as if he's at Brighton again. And, you know, I'm just working on the project, you know, moving us forward. It's not good enough. Fans won't accept it because they're used to winning trophies, big trophies, Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues. So he needs to start winning as quickly as possible.
Well, that's right, isn't it? The Chelsea fans have made their voices heard, Owen. They're 10th in the Premier League table. This isn't where they want to be at this stage of a season. You'd expect them to be at least chasing a Champions League place. Does that seem unachievable now?
Yeah, it's gone. That's gone. Champions League is gone. And I think, look, credit Graham Potter. He took a job that he's never had before. Ostersund's did amazing. Swansea did amazing. Brighton did amazing. This is a different caliber and a different step up. I respect him that he's taken on the job, but it needs a slightly different way of dealing with it. Every game is must win. At Brighton, he could afford to. We kept lauding him. They played brilliant. They wouldn't score goals. They could go 10 games and not win a game. You can't do that at Chelsea. The expectations, the demands of the football club are you got to win. The players are used to winning. The fans are used to winning. I think we all want Graham to do well because he's such a nice guy and he's so calm. But the problem is he needs results and he needs them really quickly. This is not the type of game that you want to go and get results against Tottenham, a team that plays on the counter-attack. It feels like it's set up for Tottenham. But Mudryk, João Felix, you know, Kai Havertz, Mason Mount. I mean, they got so many, Enzo Fernandez, Thiago Silva. They got so many world-class players that they got to find a way to make something of that. Chelsea can't be 10th with that group of players.
They've been missing so many chances, though, Tim. Yeah. They've not been able to put the ball in the back of the net. That's been their biggest issue, particularly since the turn of the World Cup, after the World Cup, I should say, when they came back from that break. Yeah. But can you blame the manager for that?
Well, no. But you can say with every manager who's still in a job or lost their jobs, you know, everyone misses chances, but you need to create more. You know, there's no excuse. When you're playing the bottom of the league side without a manager, there's no excuse for not winning the football match. You cannot get beat at home to Southampton. And it feels to me like we're talking about Graham Potter at Brighton and Chelsea. He struggled to score goals at Brighton. He's struggling now to score goals at Chelsea. De Zerbi's not struggling to score goals at Brighton, and he's got the same group of players. So it's, as a manager and you're a talented coach, you need to find a solution, and he needs to start very, very quickly. Yeah, like everyone could look at it from the cold light of day and say, look, he's had chances, and it's up to the players to stick the ball in the back of the net. But unfortunately, when you're a manager, everyone in the league misses chances. you have to take the stick. If you're not getting the results, you're wrong. You're doing something very, very wrong. If you win, everything's right.
Have you seen any improvement under Graham Potter?
I would be lying if I said yes. I think
Don't lie to me, Owen.
I think everybody likes Graham and everybody wants him to do well because everybody realises it's a completely different job and a huge step up. But sometimes if you watch Chelsea play, it's possession, but there's no real purpose to it. And maybe that's because he doesn't have a centre forward. Maybe that's because Kai Havertz in there and he's dropping off and everyone's linking. But if you see that, interesting, those stats, you know, shots-wise, they've had plenty. So I'm just still amazed that they spent 600 million and don't have a centre forward.
But they'll give him time. But everyone wants time.
Do you think they will, though?
Yeah, with £600 million spent or more, and again, in the summer, they'll have another transfer window, he will turn it around, but so will anyone. With that, you know, with that riches at your disposal, you will turn it around in the end. But it's just if the fans have got the patience, because in the end, they will start talking, they'll start shouting louder and louder, and Todd Boehly will have to listen. And there will be a lot more managers out there. At the moment, people say, well, who do you bring in? It's Chelsea. It's Chelsea. You can go and get any manager in the world. Whoever you want to get, you can just go and get them, bar, I would say, Pep Guardiola.
But I think if Kante comes back, you know, every team he plays in, he makes better. You know, whether it's Leicester, whether it's Chelsea, whether it's France. So I think if they can find a way to get him back fit, I think he's just back into training now. That makes a huge difference. I think that covers up a lot of the issues. Then Fofana, even, you know, they got a lot of good players. I don't really see the benefit in changing. You know, get everybody fit. Give him 10 games and then see. And I think if you give him 10 games with, you know, João Felix and Mudryk and Raheem Sterling came on against Southampton and looked brilliant. There's so much firepower in that, you know, Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez, you know, they should find a way to make it work. But Champions League is finished for this season.
Big test against Spurs then. We, of course, continue to send our best wishes to Antonio Conte as he continues to recover from illness, Tim.
Yeah.
But Christian Stellini's doing a marvellous job in his absence, isn't he? Yeah. 3 games, 3 wins.
No, he's done well.
Peasy.
It's almost like there's a little bit more freedom, especially with the wing-backs. I mean, they get themselves... You see the 2 wing-backs combined here. Davis, you know, Emerson Royale just slides that one past. I mean, he's a different player, that boy. I mean, when Antonio's not there, they seem to play with a little...
Exactly what I was thinking, too.
Yeah, but it seems like when Antonio's there at the side, they're a little bit more pragmatic, and he sits them in a more defensive unit. Sonny comes off the bench there with a fantastic attitude, and Harry Kane just sets him up. That's what we want to see him back to his best. They're a threat. Anyone who's got Son and Kane in their side is a real threat. So I think Graham Potter won't relish going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because they beat City. And you never know what you're going to get from Tottenham. They're inconsistent, just as good as all of them. You know, inconsistency has cost them this season. But when you have a look at it, they're 4th in the league at the moment. They're in the FA Cup. They're in the Champions League. And I think they'll beat AC Milan in the reverse leg. So it's not all bad. You know, it's just that sometimes it's been a horrible, hard watch. You know, but if you started now and you just arrived and you had a look at where Tottenham are, you say... Yeah, pretty good season up to now. But now they got to kick on. They got to finish it off.
I had this conversation with, jumped into a taxi in London the other day, a black cab, and the taxi driver, he was chatting football, Tottenham fan, and he was moaning. And all the Tottenham fans, you ever talk to them, they all moan about the position they're in. They moan about, you know, the position they're in. I'm thinking, yeah, but you're 4th. You're in the Champions League. You got the best stadium in the country. You got the best training ground in the country. You know, be happy. This is where they are, I think, you know. So if they can finish top 4 and potentially win a trophy, that is fantastic for what Tottenham is. For some reason, they have this negativity, and they're all sceptical about, oh, you know, we're going to do a Tottenham. No.
Spursy.
Yeah, Spursy. No, you're a really good side. You're a much better side than you give yourself credit for. But this is a huge game for them, because if they can finish top 4, you know, after all the issues they've had this season, then I think they're onto a winner.
Yeah, Tim, you said right at the start, it's an emotional game. This one can get quite fiery, can't it? We know about a lot of the previous matches and the times that they've faced each other before. So what do you think the result's going to be this time round? Because there is quite a lot riding on this one.
Because of home advantage, I'm going to back Tottenham. With Harry Kane, I think he likes scoring in London derbies. I think they might just have the edge in this game. It is going to be, you need to, if you're Graham Potter, you're going to need to send your team out with a lot of confidence. And you need to forget what's gone on in the past. They're on a terrible run. And give them the freedom to go and play. And they produced the performance like they did against Man City. they'll win the game. So I'm going to go with them.
Did Tottenham edge it for you?
Yeah, I think confidence is such a huge thing in sport, in football, and Chelsea don't have any. And, you know, and Tottenham in a good run of form. So I think if you're a Chelsea player, you're in the warm-up thinking, you know, we could be in trouble here. And that's always that's always quite dangerous. But, you know, João Felix, I love watching him play. This guy is an absolute superstar. Mudrik's going to get firing at some point. Enzo Fernandez, we've seen, he's not afraid of the big stage. So they need somebody to step up. They are young guys, but they're good players. I think if they can step up on this, you know, they can kickstart the season. Yeah. But I think Spurs have a little bit too much on the counter. The
problem we got, Jules, is we don't know how he's going to play. Is he going to go 4 at the back? Is he going to go 5 at the back? This is Potter. And we don't know who's going to play. And not only we do, we're second guessing, nor do the players. And not till an hour and a half before the game is he going to pick that side. And I don't think they would have trained it with any. Oh, if I'm playing in midfield, I want to know what Owen's doing every single day. I don't want to know. We have a relationship, and it's telepathic. He cannot build that without playing together on a regular basis. Unfortunately, that's where he is at the moment. So he needs to stick with it. He needs to get a positive result doing that, and then play your fittest team.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating match on Sunday, that one. What about Crystal Palace?